Alright.
So, we're rolling, right?
Yeah.
So day 44, pretty sweet day, I have to say. We got up at the springs, packed up, completely forget what time we woke up and left, but I think it was like pretty early. It was supposed to be a pretty hot day, and we hiked exactly 20 miles to Dove Spring Road, and on the way we're up in these trees, and we came down this little valley, and there was this seep that there's this it was like on a rock, and the dirt was hanging over the rock, and just this water just dripping out of the dirt, and all these plants. And it was so amazing. And and someone had built like a little concrete dam there. It was this deep, like super deep, clear pool, super amazing. And we hiked past some creeks, and it reminded me like this the pinyon pines and like this like kind of almost deserty, but like high
Another ponderosa.
high ponderosa, big trees, and like the little creek and the little willows in it. It reminded me a lot of Prescott in Arizona, where we got to school. And then we came out and we dropped 3,500 feet, boom, boom, and somewhere in there, but that was one big descent. We dropped down into the desert again and straight into Joshua trees and just like straight desert again. And this was a huge water carry, this section, but luckily someone had put a big water cache with 5-gallon jugs, and there was like, I don't know, like over 200 gallons of water. There was a bunch of jugs, and it was close to 100 degrees, and there was a little place a little shade place, and it was like an hour or two after we had lunch in the trees and hiked down into the desert. And then we had to take another break there for another hour to let it cool off until like 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon, because it's just way too hot to hike. Like we say, our solar panel kind of craps out sometimes, and when it gets too hot and it won't charge. We don't know if it's because of the phone. We don't know if it's the USB connection or if it's too hot. But usually at lunch times it does that. So we like to say when our solar panel craps out because of the heat and overheats, it's too hot for us to hike too. And it was hot. Anyway, back to it. We filled up on water. We hung out there, and then we.
Remember what I told you?
Oh yeah, Dennis. Oh my God, we were eating this like Nature Valley bar that was in this bear box. There, little like something that someone left for the hikers, and it was so hot that it was like not crunchy, but a little bit like chewy. And Dennis was like super red in the face because it's so hot, like sunscreen smeared everywhere, and like it's tired and sweaty, and just bar all over his mouth, just like in his teeth and everything. And we're talking about this cheese, and we didn't know what to do with it. It was like my parents put it in the box and mailed it to us, and then we had it for like 5 days in the desert, so it must have been 8-10 days old, and super sweaty. Is like pretty gross. And then we were like wondering what we'd do with the cheese, and Dad's like turns to me, his eyes get all big, he's like super stoked, he's like, cook it. And then he wanted to say cook it, but he's like, cook it, and he was like super stoked, and we laughed so hard we almost peed ourselves for like half an hour. Pretty hilarious how Dad's got super stoked on the gross cheese. And then we hiked up past Pinyon Mountain. There was a few pinyon trees on the north side of this little hill in the desert, and then we got to another dirt road, which had a little table on it.
I think it's called Dove Spring.
Dove Spring Road. We didn't use the table; it was kind of gross, but we sat up there in the sand and made dinner and had tea, and the sun set and the full moon rose.
Guess what full moon, dude?
It
The
was a
strawberry full moon.
It was
yeah.
pretty amazing. And we were drinking tea and just like, oh, it was a good day. It was a hot day. Sweat our butt off, but it was a good day. Pretty solid. That was too long, wasn't it?